NDE 1. I was hit by a car on a pedestrian crossing. I came to the realization of what was happening once I saw my own body. I saw it from the viewpoint of the corner of the room, away from the accident site. I was unconscious at the time. For the first few seconds of the NDE, I felt that I was accepted there. Warmth, immense love, and an incredible feeling of wisdom surrounded me. It felt like I had arrived home from somewhere. I felt that I was given an opportunity to stay in that space. However, as soon as I realized what had happened, I panicked and allowed fear to pervade my whole soul. Amazingly, with no body, I still had a voice. I shouted with such powerful force and in such terror, "This is a mistake." That, I remember vividly. It was at this point that I felt there was a distinctive repulsion of these fearful feelings within the contrasting wisdom that surrounded me. Throughout this seemingly short experience, I feel that I had my back to something and was looking the whole time down at my body. I was not in harmony with the surroundings, perhaps I was immature. I felt that I was sent away. I feel that I did not choose to come back. I regained consciousness as I was being carried out towards the ambulance. My feeling is that it was possible that my heart had stopped and that possibly the fright of seeing my own body may have started it again. I cannot verify this idea, as this was never monitored. NDE 2. I was sitting on the low water crossing in the country, myself and 3 friends. It had rained upriver for about a week, but the water was clear where we were at the time. My friends were fishing and I was just sitting and watching. There was a rushing sound coming from around the corner of the river, but the trees were in the way and I could not see what the noise was. Suddenly, flood waters came rushing towards me, and it felt just like I had been grabbed by the ankles and flipped off the bridge. The water current was so strong, I could not swim against it, and I wound up inside the large pipes that passed under the road where the water normally flowed through. The only problem was the other end was clogged up with tree limbs and grass, and I could not pass through, so I was just stuck inside the drainage pipe with the flood waters. At first, I was panicking trying to get out, and then, all of a sudden, a peace and a calm just came over me. I remember that I felt like I laughed and, all of a sudden, it was like I was standing on top of the bridge looking through the road. I could see my body flopping around in the water, but I could not see myself on top of the road. It was really like I was looking through my eyes at myself in the water, and I remember saying to myself in my mind, "Well, this is it." I never thought that I would drown though, and I remember thinking to myself, "I am not afraid, this is just it." Suddenly, the pressure from the flood waters burst through the debris and it shot me out on the other side of the bridge and washed me upstream. My friend helped pull me out of the river. I had a very high fever for several days. The doctor did not know what was wrong with me because she was not aware of the flaws associated with the Dalkin shield, and besides, we were in the middle of the Pacific. I was delirious much of the time. The doctor did not give me antibiotics because I was pregnant, but when I started to miscarry, she took me straight into surgery for dilation and curettage, D&C. While I was under general anesthesia, I simply sat up and got out of my sick body. I remember seeing the operating table and the medical staff around my physical body in my peripheral vision. Right out in front of me was a being, with a material body, but not like a physical body. Its arms, I use the word loosely, were opened out to me, and I climbed into its lap. I was laughing and crying at the same time. I said, "We spoke with thoughts, which seemed perfectly normal at the time. I almost stopped believing in you." The being kind of chuckled and said, "Well, here I am." I cannot tell you how much love this being was capable of giving. The best description I can offer is that it was as if love permeated every fiber of whatever body I happened to be in. There is no earthly experience that I have had that comes anywhere near this experience of being loved so totally and powerfully. I think there is a little blank space here where something else might have happened or been communicated, but I'm not sure. Near the end of this encounter, I asked, "Is it time for me to stay with you now? Or, can I stay with you now?" But the being said, "No, not this time." Then it showed me that I was connected by these threads of love to my 2 children, and that these threads were like a reflection of the love this being was capable of giving. I understood then that I had to return to be with them. Returning to the body was a difficult task. It was like being squashed into a tuna can. I got back by somehow connecting to my breath and concentrating on the point of the intersection of two lines, kind of like aiming for a target. I remember being aware of being back in my body. I had a long recovery.